wearing what I can only assume is meant to be some camouflage when you're already up a tree and have the rod in the water.
I'd argue that due to his spiky hair and the fact that he's been there for about a week non-stop, the leaves simply fell on him and he just hasn't brushed them off yet.
Probably not non-stop though, is it? I'm guessing he's not up there in a bloody diaper. I hope.
This is anime, dude. Anime characters don't poo.
He talks about going first so that he's able to pass ahead and lay traps to delay the three of them, but then helps them out with a hint that the old lady just wants to hear the answer she wants. I know obviously that he ends up being wrong and sent off in the wrong direction, but he doesn't know that's about to happen.
Well, if he doesn't give them this hint, then there'll be no one to fall into his traps.
Oh, if only there was a place to go for a whiz in the forest!
Sure, but do you really expect him to take a dump in the middle of the forest as well? And the sign they see a few moments before this says, "Beware of magical beasts." If he stops to pee, he could be attacked. And I stand corrected about the poop thing. I'm still adding this in though, because I don't care.
No.
Answering questions with yes or no, then dinging the counter is something Sin-san does a lot, and is clearly done to pad out the sin count. But if I was to stop and sin it every single time, we'd be here for ages. So I'll just add on this many sins for now and ignore the rest.
What gave it away? Was it the whole physically moving downwards thing?
They can't see outside. For all they know, they could be experiencing an earthquake right now. And if it went slow enough, they would be none the wiser that they were even moving at all.
Discount Saitama from One Punch Man.
Sin-san makes a pop culture reference that isn't necessarily anime cliche.
Also, let me just get something straight here, because it does, believe it or not, confuse a lot of people in the comment section. This joke actually purely refers to someone looking like a poor man's version of another character, hence discount, meaning you could hire them for less. But a ton of people always say, for example, One Punch Man came before Hunter x Hunter and thus the sin doesn't count. It's just a joke saying they look similar. I've always been confused by those who mistake the meaning of the joke, and hopefully this sorts it out once and for all. Also, it is a CinemaSins joke, and so I'll probably phase it out pretty soon anyway, as it's one of the last ones I still use.
This is a very common CinemaSins joke. The fact that you have to explain it to your thick audience is sad. I'll remove a sin for that. I'll remove another sin for choosing to evolve past a CinemaSins clone and become your own thing. Congratulations.
大変お待たせいたしました。ただいまをもってハンター受験者の受付時間を終了いたします。
I guess I kinda have to sin this guy for not having a mouth? It's a new one though, I gotta say.
He does have a mouth. You just gotta zoom in to see it. Look, I'll show you.
ハンター試験でルーキーが合格する確率は3年に1人。俺みたいな凡人には夢のまた夢ってわけだ。
One would assume he'd be smart and take off his jacket, drop the suitcase and undo his fucking tie like a normal human normally would do in this situation. And removing the sin for him taking my rather sound advice.
Or just delete the sin from your script. Instead of padding out the runtime with pointless stuff like this, if a sin is going to be explained or excused immediately after it is made, it is not a sin.
Once again, mentioning a person by name whom the other person has never met or even heard of is odd, dude. How about saying I was raised by my aunt in future to avoid confusion and unnecessary follow-up questions from equally confused people?
You've already sinned gone for this. You can't sin him again when it was already established he likes to talk about people by name.
Boobs.
Sexual objectification.
I don't see any cameras anywhere.
Cameras can be hidden in pens these days. For all we know, they could be using bugs with cameras on them, or a multitude of very well hidden cameras.
Man, seriously, where the hell are all these camera feeds we keep on seeing right in front of them?
Again, I can see several places where they can hide cameras.
なかなかいいバネをしているね。
Dude, that camera would have had to have been like on the dude's chest, which clearly it isn't.
For the third damn time, Sinsan, there definitely could be a camera in that guy's shirt. Have you never seen a hidden camera show?
俺は今までに19人殺したが
And yet your main listed crimes were for fucking fraud and blackmail.
The tattoo thing is a bluff. He is bluffing to use scare tactics. And if you Google the definition of fraud, it says a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities. So I'd say his crimes are accurate.
俺が男か女かをかけるってのはどうだ。いやいや、そいつはやっぱり無理があるよな。
Whatever you end up choosing, it's probably unwise to be talking about it out loud in front of your opponent.
おいおいおっさん、さっきから心の声が丸聞こえだぜ。
This kid would be good at anime sins, and annoyingly, I now have to remove the sin.
Sinsan adding a sin for no reason, then immediately removing it to pad out the runtime cliche.
何を隠そうじゃんけんにはちょっと自信があるのや。
Describing as a skill something which always has a 1 in 3 chance of you winning.
Wrong. A quick Google search would tell you that there can be skill and strategy involved with rock, paper, scissors. Just take a look at No Game No Life.
お前は負けた上に50時間も無駄な時間を食わされたんだ。ちょっと責任感じたらどうだ？
But as a guy who has said a couple of episodes ago that you have no interest in winning whatsoever and only in fact want to lose so you can go back and bring down more rookies the following year, having this conversation in the first place seems largely pointless.
The whole point of him is to take down rookies and upset people. By saying this, he will indeed upset them. So this is not pointless.
うるせえあんたになる気もねえやつはほざくな人の足引っ張ることしか考えてねえくせに
And he would also be good at anime sins, and again I'm taking the sin off.
Sinsan adding a sin for no reason, then immediately removing it to pad out the runtime cliche.
Just a question, but where are they making their peeps and poops?
Sinsan seems to be obsessed with poo. Interesting.
Jesus, what the hell is up with his nose?
What he gets up to in the bedroom of his own home with his partner is none of your concern.
1週間はまともに歩くこともできないよ安心しな水場はすぐそばにある死にはしないさ
Well, if he's going to be unable to move for a week, how the hell is he going to get to water?
A human can live without water for up to 8 to 21 days, so he will be fine.
手が血だらけ。この2日間、ずっと竿を振りっぱなしだったからな。
I've done that before for 3 days straight and it never damaged my hands.
Oh, that's nasty.
My enjoyment of this series continues to rise faster and faster, so it can take another well-deserving sin off for this second part in general.
I'm sorry, what the hell is up with the shift in audio quality? Did you not think to do another take?
一風変わったけど
God damn it, I was hoping he was going to eat that and I'd finally get the answer to the question, where the hell is his bloody mouth?
I showed you earlier, dude. Do I need to show you again?
Why did Gon decide to enter the battle without his fish and pole type of weapon when they were told before the battle began that weapons were in fact allowed?
The hell is he gonna do with a fishing rod in a fight like this?
Simply put, this was my favourite episode of all of the 19 I've seen thus far to date. It was incredibly difficult to sim from start to finish and I barely managed to come up with the one I did.
So, basically, you're too lazy. Surely there could have been a few jokey sins you could have made.
The fact that I now have to wait until I've finished other videos before I can get back to watching another 10 of these. Don't worry, I'm not adding this as a sin or anything, it's just a neutral sin as I wanted to make my anger known. Either way, what a brilliant episode yet again, so I'm going to leave it here at 70 and get back to it as soon as is humanly possible.
Sinsan adding a sin for no reason, then immediately removing it to pad out the run.
いずれにせよ、キルアは当時、自らの意思で行動できない状態にあった。
Saying all of this as though it's solid evidence is great, but not exactly factual. It could be true, but having said that, none of them know without a shadow of a doubt exactly what's going on, but they are talking as though they do.
すべて憶測に過ぎんの証拠は何もない明らかに殺人を指示するような言動があったわけではない
Jesus f***, I just wrote all of that out, and again they pulled the rug out from under me by saying pretty much the same damn thing. Okay, removing the sin.
Sinsan adding a sin for no reason, then immediately removing.
お茶をどうぞ。
これ
その湯飲みは20キロ
That shit is indeed heavy, but they should still be able to lift it, especially with two hands. Don't get me wrong, it's heavy, but it's easily doable for an adult, and these are hunters.
They may be hunters, but they're all kids/teenagers, and I don't recall the hunting exam testing them on their lifting abilities.
私たちがキルをいじめてたみたいにただのクソ見習いのくせして失礼
She didn't specifically insult you, in fact she never mentioned you, she just said to help him. Bitch.
I agree that she is not very nice, but telling them to help Killua implies that they aren't exactly treating him well, which in her eyes is an insult.
正直なところキルア様を奪おうとしているお前らが憎いさあどっちだ答えろ
Is there much point in continuing on with the game when he's already made it very clear that something far more sinister is afoot and that he has clearly dark intentions for the three of them? I would think at this stage that the playing of the game would be put on the back burner.
Or, hear me out here, refusing to play will upset the butler, which would result in him getting violent.
まあそのトリックを使ったのは最後だけだと思うよ。たとえゲームでもズルは嫌いだから後藤は。
No doubt you're correct, but you were only there for the very end, so you wouldn't really know either way, would you?
No, but Killua clearly knows his butlers well, and if he can't play fair at such a simple game, then what kind of butler would he be? In case you didn't notice, he is clearly one hell of a butler.
Everyone says the exact same thing at the exact same time cliche. Surprisingly difficult to do on a whim.
I've done it loads of times actually, and considering they all knew the date and place, it isn't that impossible for them to do.
Considering how pretty much everything else is normal in this world in reference to our own world, such as cars and buildings and such, it's odd that every blimp needs an odd looking smiley face on the front of it.
Maybe there's one major blimp company, and that is their signature design? Like with car brands having logos on the hoods of their cars? I can't imagine there being that many major players in the blimp game.
Managing a camera angle of the kid when the dude in front of him is large to say the least.
Belly button camera.
本気の人が見られるかもよ
でもいいのかなウィングさんとの約束が。
Yeah, to be fair though, dude, I don't think he was referring to spectating as well.
大丈夫に決まってるだろただ試合を見るだけなんだから
ダメです
And for the fourth video in a damn row, you fucking genius writers have pulled the rug out from under me and answered the sin within seconds of me having issued it. Once again though, since I love this anime, I'm more than happy to remove the sin.
Since I'm adding a sin for no reason and immediately removing.
I must say, I greatly wonder what the hell he is doing with the right side of his body to have his shirt in a perpetual state of untuckedness.
Just walking around and moving is enough to cause shirts to untuck themselves. Also, untuckedness is not a word. Sinsan needs to learn how to use a dictionary.
Okay, so here I'm going to do my classic age-old neutral sin, because firstly there's definitely a sin for the camera angles which manage to get low-angle, up-close shots of people when clearly there's no camera anywhere in front of them. However, having said that, the battle in general and actually getting to witness this dude take down Hisoka a few times has been nothing short of an absolute thrill. Thus, the two cancel each other out.
Sinsan adding a sin.
Yeah, if he had a twin, you'd likely have noticed him also enter the fucking ring, wouldn't you, you fucking spanner?
She is just trying to be an entertaining commentator. No need for you to be such a butthead.
君が約束を破って念を使ったら切れるように結んであったのです。私の念でね。
What about if he'd just decided to take it off as it was annoyingly in the way, or maybe he peed on it a little one night when he was super tired? Would it have worked then?
A bunch of what ifs and questions aren't sins of an anime. Sinsan needs to learn the difference between questions and sins.
そしてフロアマスターの称号さえあれば、講演、アドバイザー、無条件での新流派設立。
I think you'd be great as a martial arts instructor.
Just because he's in a wheelchair, he can't be a martial arts instructor. That's ableist.
Yup, and if you thought there was a chance I wasn't going to remove a sin for these two awesome fucking scenes, then you were dead wrong. They was awesome.
If it's two awesome scenes, then surely it'd be worth removing two sins, no?
Okay, and lastly, this entire battle gets an easy sin removal all on its own. Also, like I said before guys, if you think I'm removing too many sins, try to think of this series as 90% sins and 10% wins, since I do not do anime wins videos for long anime like these, otherwise they'd take forever to make in total. I think—
Jesus Christ, you sure do love to waffle on and on and on and on and on and on.
物の持つ働きや力を強くする強化系。オーラを飛ばす放出系。
in future, it seems like it would be a good idea to just have them all on the screen at the same time to save us nearly 20 seconds of going through the 6 different classes.
I actually appreciate this level of explanation for Nen, as a lot of anime don't ever explain half the magic stuff that goes on. I was lost for the first whole episode of FMA Brotherhood because they didn't explain anything.
He's already told you like 60 seconds ago, Sushi, that you need to train more. Just an FYI to anyone heading down to the comments, I know his name isn't Sushi, it just looks and sounds similar.
That's racist.
The fact that they chose to do the first part of this battle in near silence was an absolutely inspired choice. It just made it feel so much more real and intense as hell. They can take yet another sin removal for this. I'll also tie into this removal Gon's brilliant attack at the end of the episode.
Again, these are two separate things, so should be two sin removals.
これはジンから預かったものよ。あなたがハンターになったら渡してくれって。
How the hell would he know he'd ever have any interest in becoming a hunter?
He wouldn't, but there is a 50-50 chance. He either will or won't, and if he does, then Jean would want Gon to have the box. If Gon didn't want to be a hunter, then he would simply never receive the box.
だがさっきも言ったが、俺はお前とは会いたくねえ。近づくのが分かったら、とんずらかますぜ。
No offense, Gon, but your dad's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, that's the point. Character flaws aren't sins of the anime.
Also, no doubt the anime will correct me over the next 10 episodes or so, but why even bother to leave all of this behind if he didn't actually want to be found in the first place? Again, I'm guessing this is probably part of some larger task for Gon to test his resolve, but for now the sin stands, and as soon as I get my answer in the future episode, of which there's no doubt in my mind that I will, rest assured that I'll remove the sin.
Stop panning out the videos of explanations of your sins. Just ding the counter and move on. And remove the sin if necessary if it's explained in a much later episode. But, saying that, having something yet to be explained is not a sin of the anime. Exposition is on a need-to-know basis. If we don't need it to move on with the story, then it can be explained in a later episode.
お前の母親についてだ。聞きたければこのまま聞いてくれ。別にいいなら。
いいのか？
Oh yeah, that's real nice towards your biological mother who, for all you know, spent the last 12 years trying to track you down because Jin stole you from her at birth. That's real bloody considerate, and although I highly doubt that's the case, you don't know.
You don't know either. Don't make giant leaps of assumptions to try and make a crappy sin work.
Without identification on the keys, how would you know what keys you're pressing? This is madness!
I'm guessing you've never met a pianist.
That building in the background is fucking stunning.
Just looks like a boob sin removal but with extra steps.
Yet another brilliant overall episode with one sin that I could honestly come up with. So for how awesome this entire episode was, I'll remove a sin. There were a few I could have written about, but it would have been over the top nitpicking, so I'm happy to leave it with just the one. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll be sure to see you in part number 5.
Sin-san once again admitting to his laziness. The whole point of sinning things is to be nitpicky.
From a distance, this boat looks like it's made out of paper.
That's Boatist.
護衛団はおるか、ボスを危険にさらした。従って処分した。諸君らは彼の代わりだよ。
What, all 4 of them are replacing one dude?
Yes.
あら、ぴったりのはずだけど。
Aside from the old penis nose, I like her. Hair.
I don't know. I'd have to say that nose is a deal breaker.
おそらく、眠ることに関する言葉は、病や死の暗示です。わかった。
You know there's a reason why smartphone screens turn off when you hold the phone to your ear? It's to ensure that your Mercedes-sponsored cheeks don't accidentally nudge the screen and stick the phone on loudspeaker.
Maybe the sensor is broken? I mean, he is using an iPhone.
そんなことは言われなくても分かってんだよ。
Oogray.
Saying what's on the screen cliche.
Man, this anime has really got a minor obsession with people having oddly square noses, and it's odd.
Or you could not bully people for the shape of their nose.
君はなぜこの仕事に？
聞いてどうするの？どうせデタラメ言うかもよ。
Perhaps it's to be able to afford a decent visit to a good dentist for a fucking change.
Again with the bullying. Not everyone can afford a dentist. Have you seen the people of Britain?
魔王が作曲したとされる独奏曲。ピアノ、バイオリン、フルート、ハープのための4つがあり。
階段の類ではないのか？
What, something said to have been created by the devil himself, a myth? Oh, you who have such little faith. I mean, unless the devil is a genuine thing in this anime and it'll pop up in a few episodes' time, I don't know. But going on what I know of the last 42 episodes, I'd strongly wager that the devil didn't create it.
So you are okay with weird monsters speaking Japanese, humans having weird magical abilities, 12-year-old assassins, and a village of people whose eyes turn scarlet when they are angry, but the possibility of the devil existing is too hard to believe? Okay, good to know.
I will forever mourn the loss of Tebibs.
Sexual objectification. Again.
Jesus, how long is he planning on not watching the road? It's been like a good 30 seconds already and he still has yet to veer off course. Yeah, they'd have long crashed by now.
Unless it's a big straight line?
そういえばシャルナークはさっき連絡があった。コミュニティの連絡係の部屋を突き止めたってさ。
Managing to locate a mafia comms room ex machina.
Using an ex machina without knowing what it means cliche.
たまに慈善活動もする。
そこまでは知っている。
Wait, what? Sometimes they've performed charitable work? Why do I find myself having a hard time believing that that bunch of nutcases ever do anything good or nice for anyone else?
Philanthropic and charitable are two different words.
You can tell when the mafia are serious about something because they even bring Jesus with them.
That's greatest.
お前何者だ?
They're doing.
Pointing out what's happening on screen cliche.
This is a very cool scene and well deserving of a sin removal. Also, although the next moment actually occurs after the next sin, I'm also adding it to the reason why I'm removing a sin, which is where he chains him up. It's bloody brilliant.
It's a cliche at this point, so here we go. Sin-san praises two separate things, but only removes the one sin cliche.
中身がすり替えられたものだったら、お前どうすんだい?
To be fair though, you have no idea what the item inside even is in the first place, so even if it was actually swapped out years ago, how would you know the item inside wasn't the item originally inside it, but it just so happens that some loser stuck a pretty shitty item in there and that's all?
Again, just a big what if. What ifs and questions are not sins of the anime. Sin-san needs to learn the difference between what ifs and sins.
ああ、どこかわかんねえが、俺たちを意識してる。
鎖やろうかね。
How would he know that exactly one way or another?
At a guess, I'd say everyone's nen feels different, and he would recognise the feeling from before?
トイレに行ってくる。いいよ。荷物ちゃんと見ててね。
This seems largely irresponsible when you're charged with keeping the daughter safe at all costs and then you don't even go in with her despite her saying it's okay.
A few things. It's a restroom. There's very little reason to suspect anything will happen, and everyone needs toilet privacy. Secondly, it sounds like you don't understand the context of this it's okay. I'm pretty sure she meant it's okay to stay here and not follow me to the bog.
Yep, doesn't take a genius to watch the door and realise 5 went in, including the daughter, and 5 came out. But is anyone watching the door? No! No, they're not! Numpties.
The word numpties is so British and I love it.
何でももみ手のしすぎで手をやけどしたそうじゃねえか。大丈夫か。
行こうか。そろそろオークションの下見の時間だ。
Dude, she ordered a drink and didn't even touch it. This bugs me just as much in TV shows, as you'll often see people get a drink and then end the scene without taking a sip. Strange things bug me. Maybe I'm strange.
ここにいる全てが組織の組長と大幹部のはず。
Dude, what the fuck happened to your mouth?
Isn't it obvious? He's eating a potato.
Wearing sunglasses at night looks cool as fuck, but very much reduces your ability to see and thus do a proper job.
Sinning something you like cliche.
これさえあれば金など吐いて捨てるほど入ってくる。
Aww, they should really put that on a birthday card or something. What a sweetheart.
What is the sin here? You're sinning a father for caring too much.
マジかよ。電源切られちゃって。それ以上確かめようがないんだ。
You could always just call him back, dude.
Depends on the phone in question. Maybe his phone requires a separate subscription for caller ID, or the caller's number was hidden. I have an app on my phone that hides my number from whom I like to call.
俺たちは何でもするぜ。
Dude, unless you're planning on sticking a band-aid on someone, you can't really do all that much to help. I was seriously hoping that he himself had learned some sick-ass ability he's just keeping to himself at the moment, but now I'm pretty sure he's just a straight-up doctor.
If he is a doctor, he can help out by attending to their injuries when they are done fighting, which is pretty damn helpful as I've seen many anime that don't seem to have a doctor to hand when big shonen fights happen.
レオレオ、南へ向かってくれ。
OK!
He took his seatbelt off randomly in order to be freely able to consume a sandwich.
Have you ever tried eating with the seatbelt on? It's annoying as hell, to be honest. That goddamn laugh. Also, sinning something you like cliche?
右のやつが抜けた。見えない。これを企んでたのか。
Okay, so she's getting a sin for asking a pretty simple question that has an obvious answer, given that the moment things went dark, she felt them get free from their bonds, but at the same time it's done so beautifully that it earns itself a win, so it's a neutral sin overall.
Sin-san adding a sin for no reason and immediately removing it.
冷静になれ、クラピカ。状況は五分。何も進展してねえんだ。
Still though, giving him a few punches isn't exactly going to ruin the situation they find themselves in, dude.
No, but he knows how angry Chainboy is at the spiders, so if he doesn't buy in, Chainboy might get too carried away.
壊れたおもちゃに興味はないんでね。
Why didn't he pick up the top he took off prior to what he was hoping would be his battle?
Is this not it?
ではこのソフトの不思議な力をご覧いただきましょう。を守っているのです。この中で誰かがプレイし続けている限り。
When the huge guy walks off the stage, it no longer shakes with every step he takes like it did on his way in.
Because on his way in, he was stomping. Probably for dramatic effect. When he was done, he simply walked away.
俺はただこのゲームを自慢したいだけだ。理由がどうであれ、ここまで来た以上、あるアイテムを手に入れない限り、ここから出られない。
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. His dad is a real dick.
Is this an admission of padding out the sin count?
ジンからのメッセージはあったよ。なんて？ゲームを楽しめって。ゲームを楽しめか。
Don't forget the part where he was a real dick to you, saying he's not there, he doesn't want to see you, he just wanted you to see the game, and so on and so forth, like a real dick.
He's padding out the sin count, he's padding out the sin count, he's padding out the sin count. With pointless sins like this.
対処法は薬で熱を抑えるしかありません。
How about not coughing directly in Gon's face, you old bastard?
He didn't. He coughed into his fist.
豚もおだてりゃ木に登る。
No, they can't.
Oh, really? Explain this then.
これでトータル54種類。ゲット
！Everyone says the exact same thing at the exact same time cliche. It's also incredibly hard to do on a whim.
No, it's not. It's really easy to do on a whim. There's a reason the whole Jinx can't speak now is still a thing that goes around a lot.
一つお利口になってよかったわね。ボーイ。
Yes, thank you, miss.
Was that a boob sin removal? It feels like a boob sin removal.
Stupid pirates. It's not that funny.
You really hate your headphone users, don't you? Also, comedy is subjective, so it may not be funny to you, but belly laugh hilarious to those pirates.
果たして、密かは敵か味方か。
He's definitely a foe.
I don't know. I'd say he is neither. He just loves a good fight and is kinda creepy.
お前が来たら手加減するなと言われてるぜ。お前の親父にな。
Gon, your dad's a dick.
Sinning Gon's dad for being a twat cliche. Yes, it's a cliche now.
I must admit, I've had a really hard time finding synths for this part 7. However, I mainly put that down to the fact that it's the Green Island arc. What I mean by that is that the majority of episodes have been located in one area, and the dialogue has contained huge amounts of information about the game and the cards, etc. So basically it's been like one large knowledge dump, and when that happens you can't really syn it unless the info is useless like it was in Log Horizon, for example. But
blah 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 blah. Just get to the point already.
しかし取ればボールの威力で俺の体ごとエリアの外へ飛ばされるだろう。取る選択肢はなし。かといって逃げるわけにはいかん。
I love this moment, but you'd think for a bull moving at that speed he wouldn't have all of this time for a lengthy chat with himself via internal monologue. But since Gon's hit beforehand was completely badass, I'm making this a neutral sin.
Sin-san adding a sin for no reason in the movie.
俺の息子がいつかここへ来る。したら遠慮しねえでぶっ飛ばせよ。
Gene seems to have spent the majority of his life making incredibly lucky bets on whether or not his son will even be bothered to leave Wild Island in the first place, and has subsequently gotten his progress in life correct from the bloody get-go, and all based on what can only be assumed is a series of hunches.
I wouldn't say bets, I'd say countermeasures. He really doesn't want to meet his son, so has put in place lots of obstacles and challenges to keep his son away, just in case he does decide to go on his journey. As you said before, this guy's a twat.
事前の打ち合わせで俺から彼らに大丈夫だと伝えない限りゲーム内には戻らないと決めたんだ。
So I think the most important question at this point is the following. Where are you making peeps and poops whilst up in the tree for 10 days?
If I was to guess, I'd say he'd act like a bird.
腕づくの交渉になったらの話だがな。サブは釣り目。バラは女を頼む。
That's genuinely racist.
Complaining about a terrorist being racist.
何より元の姿が嫌だから。
Hey, that makes fucking two of us. I hate the way you look too.
Body shaming.
実験その2。
ようようだ。
How do you know what it is? It's not like you can see.
That's racist.
God damn it, once again the anime pulls the rug out from under me. Normally I'd just remove the sin like it never happened, but I think it's important every now and then to leave it in as a way to tip my hat to the animators and let all of you know I've got a great deal of appreciation for them and the anime they've created here. So, removing the sin.
That's one big lie. You never delete it from the script like it never happened, otherwise this cliche wouldn't exist. Sin-san adding a sin for no reason, then.
勝負がついて大天使の息吹が手に入ったら誰が怪我しても治そうって。
Although to be fair, the dude in the middle I think could easily still survive without being healed. He's likely hurt by Gon's attack, but he's still able to speak and everything, so how bad could it be?
Just because the wounds weren't lethal doesn't mean Gon can't heal them. He's nice like that.
So after all that, some smartass with a photographic memory can just come along and win the final card?
A quick bit of research will tell you that a photographic memory is just a myth.
すげえ連中だな。あのベラム兄弟があっという間だったぜ。
Wait, Bellum brothers? I don't know why, but I have a feeling as though they might not actually be brothers.
They can't be brothers because they have different skin colours. Do you not understand the concept of different mums and dads? That's some next level ignorance / racist crap right there. Okay, I'm an hour and a half through this, and I've still got about an hour and 20 minutes left of this near 3-hour compilation, and there are only 2 arcs left, so I will be saving those for part 2. This is my very first 2-part video, and just in case I don't get round to part 2, pretend there's an extra 50 sins on top. Now, I'd like to point out, I'm actually a fan of anime sins. If I wasn't flat broke all the time, I would probably be a Patreon. So you're probably thinking, if that's the case, why on earth did you make this video? Allow me to explain myself. Basically...